of Somerset Council meeting here at County Hall, Taunton. My name is Councillor Theo Butt-Philip. I'm Chair of the Human Resources. My capacity as Executive Lead Member for Transformation Human Realities. Today's meeting will be run using the webcasting system via Microsoft Teams. Committee members and key officers are physically present in the Luttrell Room, County Hall, Taunton. Other elected members of the public may physically or remotely meeting to speak on specific agenda items or observe. The agenda pack is available via mod.gov or directly from the council website, link which has been sent out to members. When you are invited to speak, please could you speak clearly into the microphone and state who you are for the benefit of anybody listening to the meeting so they can identify. Please remember to turn off microphones and cameras when not speaking. Please be advised that the meeting is being video. As agendas are now viewed electronically, could I kindly request that members to page agenda pack to assist all present finding the approach. Finally, there are no planned fire drills today. Enter the fire alarm. Please follow fire exit sign. Okay, that brings us to agenda item 1, which is I have apologies for absence from Graham Oakes, who is by Joe Randall, Tony Robbins, who is substituted Shearer, and from Mike Stanton, who is online. Do you have any other apologies? Okay, thank you. Okay, so that brings us on to item 2, declarations of interest. Do we have any? Okay, that brings us on to item 3, which is public question time. We have no questions submitted, and apart from, so unless you want to ask a question, then that is that item, which brings us on to item 4, Chief Executive and Chief Officer Pay Award 526. Item the agenda, and I would like to invite Al Anderson, Implementations Manager, to the report.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning. So we're here. You would have all seen the report presented in relation to asking you to make a decision in relation to the Chief Officer pay and also the Chief Executive's salary pay. The pay awards and the options are set out. The recommendation that we're making is that the nationally agreed Green Book pay award, 3.2%, is awarded 6 financial year for both the Chief Executive and the Chief Officers. To note that the pay awards are in relation to living pay awards, performance pay awards. Having said that,
I can't hear anything online, and when people are speaking, it's very, very quiet.
Apologies. So we've just had a test of the fire alarm. So when I said there are no planned fire drills today, there wasn't a drill, but there was a test of the alarm, and that has now finished. So apologies, that may be why you couldn't hear anything, Councillor Stanton. I will ask everyone to ensure they are speaking close to the microphone and speak.
You're very quiet, Theo. If you could bring it a bit closer. Thanks.
That.
Yeah, great. Thanks.
Okay. Michelle, back to you.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, sorry, to recap the recommendations that we are making, the nationally agreed Green Book award of 3.2% for both the Chief Officer's pay and the Chief Executive's pay. And as noted, that they are cost of living pay awards opposed to performance related pay awards. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Michelle. Do we have any questions on the report in front of us? Sorry for anyone listening at home, that was another test of the fire alarm. But Councillor Wakefield has a question.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask about the opting out that it refers to the fact we've opted out as a council from the nationally agreed pay awards for presumably just the chief executive and chief officers. Is that something that we could go back into if we wanted to? And if we did, how would it happen? Because if we're just each year following the national pay award, which I believe, and I don't know how far back this goes, and perhaps one of the officers can tell me, but it does seem a little excessive to have an extra meeting. I know it gives you the flexibility to do something if you want to, but it's not a huge award, quite frankly. I mean, it might be different if they were saying everybody has to have 10% and we thought that was too much, but I know it gives us the flexibility. I just wanted to know what the process would be if we wanted to go back into the national scheme.
Thanks, Sarah. I mean, that's a great question. My understanding, certainly, of the history is that since we opted out, my understanding is that since Somerset County Council opted out, it did always, and the continuing authority has continued to follow that. I don't know exactly how far it goes back. It obviously predates my time on this authority, but I don't know if Michelle or Nicola can tell us any more about what would happen if we wanted to go back into the national agreement, or how that might work.
Thank you. Yes, so it does go back a number of years. I'm afraid I would have to go away and double check exactly how many. To opt back in, we are aware, and Dawn, the HR and OD director, has acknowledged that this isn't something that needs to be raised. So we will, very separate to today, separately, we will bring a paper at the October HR committee to provide some options going forward. But the process is fairly simplistic. It would be a decision for you as a committee to decide, and then we would take that away and action it. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. And I know David wanted to come in. I don't know if it was just with historical experience.
Probably.
Right. So, yesterday at Executive, we had a thunderstorm. Today, we've got continuous fire alarm testing, and who knows what we have to look forward to tomorrow. Right, Councillor Fothergill.
So my understanding is that we've been opted out, certainly in my memory, and I go back to 2009. So I think it's a very long time, and I don't remember the Conservative administration. I think it might have been the previous Lib Dem administration that took us out. So I think it goes way back. And I would just point out, it's not just about could you offer less. It does give you the ability to offer more, and it does give you the ability to vary the amounts that you pay for different levels within the structure, which is something we did use on an occasion in the past. So it gives you that flexibility if you need it locally, just to move away from the national structure.
Thank you, David. That's really helpful. Councillor Lee Redmond.
Thank you, Chair. Most of you who've been on this committee for a while won't be surprised about my question in relation to the multiplier. one of the things that we've talked about previously is the gap between chief executive pay, senior leadership pay, and that of our lowest paid employee. It was something that I've asked previously. It would be helpful if we would be able to give an indication. I've obviously in previous years there've been a nationally agreed decision to increase by an amount our lowest paid workers, so that hopefully what we're doing is closing the gap between that of our chief executive, senior leadership and the lowest pay. It would be, forgive me if it's in the paper, I have been known to miss it, but there you are. So just to highlight that it's there, but is there, so if it is published, then what I was going to go on to say was, is it possible to have an indication of where we sit in line with some of our similar partners in relation to that? So is there our gap in the middle, at the bottom, at the top? Are we, those sorts of things as well? It would be helpful, because I would hope that it will get, either if it's not a good picture, then we aim in the right direction. If it is a good picture, then we're able to say that and demonstrate that we are trying to close the gap.
We don't have that information to hand, Councillor Redmond, but we can commit to making sure we bring that to a future committee.
It would be really helpful if we did, because as I say, it gives us an opportunity to hopefully grow about the fact that we're doing some good in closing the gap, or if not, it gives us a target to aim for.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there are a number of issues, including that, and going off on a slight tangent, but also on the gender pay gap, where we need to be making sure as a committee that we are monitoring where we are and where things are not quite as we would like them to, making sure that there is a plan in place to address them. So thank you for raising that. Councillor Stanton, online.
Yeah, I'm fine for us to have a review of this at the next meeting, but it's always seemed to me, and still does, that we should maintain control.
Mike, we've got another test of the fire alarm going on. So, okay, that's stopped. I'll let you know if it starts again.
It's very interesting, because I can't hear it at all. I don't know why it doesn't come through your microphones. But anyway, but you all go silent. It's rather uncanny, really, watching it. So it does seem to me we need to maintain control, so that, if we did have a situation where we thought the chief exec had done something exceptional, needed a bigger pay increase, and the directors, or conversely was underperforming and ought to have their pay increase held down, then we need that freedom of action, I think. But we'll see what paper comes to the meeting anyway.
Thanks, Mike, and I'm sure that will get a thorough airing when it comes to the committee for consideration. Okay, I don't see any other hands up, anyone indicating to speak either in the room or online. Therefore, I will take us to the recommendations. So the members of the HR committee are asked to note the nationally agreed Green Book Pay Award for 2025-26, as outlined in paragraph 1. As outlined in paragraph 1.2 below, and the updated Somerset salary rates for grades 17 to 4 at Appendix 1. To agree that a 3.2% pay award is awarded to chief officers, chief executive, executive directors and service directors for the financial year 2025-26, as outlined in paragraph 2.5 below. This recommendation is in line with the nationally agreed pay award for 25-26 for chief officers of local authorities, and the award made to staff on Green Book terms and conditions, and to agree that a 3.2% pay increase is awarded to the chief executive for the financial year 25-26, as outlined in paragraph 2.5 below. This recommendation is also in line with the nationally agreed pay award for chief executives of local authorities, and the award made to staff on Green Book terms and conditions. Do we have a proposer for that? Proposed Councillor Wakefield, Do we have a seconder? Seconded councillor Leishon. Sorry. Oh, seconded councillor. I assumed you were seconding. You were just trying to draw my attention to somebody on the other side of the room. Yeah, absolutely. So proposed councillor Wakefield, seconded councillor Fothergill. Thank you very much. All those in favour? That is passed unanimously. Okay, thank you all very much. That is the conclusion of our business for the day. Thank you very much for your attendance and participation.